Thanks, Trigger. Thank you everyone for coming out today. I see a couple of faces that I've had the pleasure of meeting through our courses and camps and stuff like that. So welcome to everyone who I haven't met. Appreciate you guys giving up time. What we're going to talk about for me is this style of play, style of coaching. From a BWA perspective, we're probably more talking state team-esque and the BWA programs at the high performance level. So it's going to be as simplistic as it can, so it translates and resonates across all levels. Again, because we've probably got some under 10s, we've got some domestic coaches, that sort of stuff, but that's fine. But trends and styles can be translated. So we're not really prescriptive with BWA. Like when coaches come in, we give them freedom to do what they want, essentially. For the most part, with their teams and their groups that they're coaching. So, but there are some themes that we like and things that we discuss and we want to implement with our high performance kids. So I'll cut straight to it, and we'll get some dialogue going in a minute. So the BWA style of play, this has been in place for even before I was in this position. So the things we talk about is pressure defense. The main things we talk about is disruptive, delay, pace, poise, penetration. Okay, so anything that BWA play in on a state level has shot clock. Okay, so I know that's not always replicable here, and that's fine. But it doesn't mean you can not translate this across to a game without shot clock. Okay. So on the defensive side of things, we want to disrupt and delay. And then the last three are offensive things. Okay, so you break, a shot clock is 24 seconds. Okay, so you break it down to 8-second components. Okay, and that's the way, like the first 8 is pace, the middle is poise, and the last is penetration. Okay, that's the way we sort of break down and we teach the shot clock. Because a lot of our kids come out of wobble and not a lot of experience with playing with a shot clock, and we get over to a tournament and we probably end up with a lot of shot clock violations just because we're not used to the rhythm of the game with a shot clock. Okay, but these things are applicable without it, so don't stress that if your team regularly doesn't play with one, that's okay. So we'll go down slide by slide, and if you've got any questions, like shoot a hand up during while I talk. Okay, if it doesn't make any sense, that's okay. Just shoot a hand up and I'll be happy to answer anything while you go. Okay. So on defense, we talk about the delay and disrupt. Okay, so obviously delay, we want to slow that implies we want to slow them down, and disrupt, you don't want them just to bring the ball down visually. So in dot point form, you want to slow them. Okay, they get a rebound, they inbound the ball, whatever they do, you want to slow it down. You want to give your team your defense every chance to get back before the ball beats them down there. Okay, ball is faster than a player. If I throw the ball as hard as I can down the court, it will beat anyone running down the court. Okay, so you want to slow the ball down. Okay, so at the state team level and that, like other teams in the opposition we play run plays and all different intricate stuff. And the easier it is for them to get into that, the harder it is for us on defense. So with this, we talk about this delaying them from actually entering their offense and what they want to do. Okay, the more time they can chew off the shot clock is in their advantage. Okay, and another tactic we talk about is getting the ball out of the other team's point guard's hands. Okay, so their main ball handler, okay, the one who can snake through everything, can get the ball where it needs to be and down the court to a threatening position. We try to get the ball out of there. Who usually throws the inbounds pass in? So if the ball goes in, like in any competition you guys play in and coaching, like who usually throws the ball in? Like a guard? Okay. Ball, ball. Well, at the state level, it's usually the big. They're trying to get an own board. They're crashing the glass, or the defense. They're trying to get a defensive board. Ball goes in, they take it out. They're right there. So a lot of what we talk about, a lot of what we try to do is get the ball out of the point guard's hands, because it then gets passed to the big, who's trailer. We call it a trailer. So the person who inbounds it, they usually get the ball back in any pressure situation for the point guard. So if you weigh it up, strong ball handler, good decision maker versus person that just thrown it in that doesn't really want the ball. Okay, we want the ball in the inbounder's hands. Okay, so that's another tactic we use there. We also talk about protecting the pace of the keyway. We protect the keyway in the middle of the floor. Okay, we protect the middle of the floor because it's hard for defense to align and set up when the ball's in the middle of the floor. Okay, so help positioning, we all, maybe drill it and do shell drills and stuff like that. Ball in the middle of the floor is the hardest to position away from. Ball on one side of the floor, the easier it is to be, in a good space defensively. And down the side of the floor, you shrink the floor that the opposition can use. So we're narrowing the floor. So if you look at the floor in thirds, outer third, middle third, outer third, if you keep it to the outer third, that's good because your help defense can load up on the other 2/3. Okay? And when the ball's in the middle, you've got to worry about left, you've got to worry about right. On one side of the floor, you've mainly just got to worry about the ball coming back the other way. Okay? So it's easier for your players in the half court, the ball gets stuck to a side. Okay? So that's why in transition for our defensive teams, we want them running the middle of the floor. Okay? We want them running the middle of the floor. We don't want them next to their player who's on the opposite side of the floor, 40 metres away from the ball. Okay? If you just get your players at any level to guard the ball and everyone else run ahead in the middle of the floor, you'll be a lot better defensive team than some of your counterparts who you come up against. Okay? And we also talk about controlling the tempo of the game. Okay, so some teams we come up against, we're like, well, they're not as skilled as us. Okay, and what do we usually do to less skilled teams? Defensively. You pressure them. Okay, you speed them up, you get them playing out of control. And what about teams that we're maybe giving up some sort of we're at some sort of disadvantage, and maybe we can't keep up with them, they're too quick. The opposite to that is we try to slow them down. Okay, so there's the delay and disrupt. It doesn't just mean one thing of hey we play fast, we get after, we speed everyone up, and it doesn't mean we just slow everyone down. Okay, it's adaptive to who you're playing against. And again, these are very generic, like these points that we're talking about, but they can be adapted to any sort of level of basketball. Okay. So what we talk about here, I've got some clips. Sorry. I'm not used to the Mac, so forgive me. Sorry. So this is some footage from our if you see, we're talking D-trans, we're talking about picking up the ball early. Okay, so what you'll see is that the ball's always being guarded in transition. Okay? So this is a great example of delaying a team. Okay? Slowing them right down. They're a lot smaller, quicker than us, and they wanted to run. Okay? We slow them down. But we try not allow the ball just to be unguarded and walked up. Okay, we try to keep it to the side. Okay, so here now, if you look at everyone else, they're ahead of the ball, somewhere in the middle of the floor. Do you see how they're all aligned in the middle of the floor? Okay, you've got someone hanging over on the weak side there, but for the most part, we load up the middle of the floor. Okay, and again, you can adapt it any way you want. You can double the ball, you can do whatever. You can make plays that reads, but again, like. As you see, middle of the floor, containment, and then I guess the biggest thing in defensive transition that you want to cover outside the ball is the basket. Okay, so here we're not doing a great job of keeping the ball out of the paint in transition. Okay, there's a live ball turnover. Okay, but we cover the basket. Live ball turnover again. Okay, we get back, we cover the basket. Okay. Pardon me, it's slow as it is. Okay. I'll move on to the next one. I won't go through all the videos. Okay, so when we move on to the offensive side of things, okay, the first element of what we call offensive transition is pace. Okay, so again, for offense, again, when we're talking shot clock, okay, we're restraining it a little bit, but we're trying to get the ball up as quick as we can to play as much offense as we can with as much time on the clock as we can. Okay? So we get the, doesn't mean we're erratic and we just get the ball, hey, throwing bombs down the court to anyone who's open. But you know, we're proactive in that space. We're not reactive. Okay? So, you know, the term kick ahead just means a pass, someone's open ahead of you, you throw it. Okay? You throw it. And especially down at the outer thirds, if someone's open down the line, you throw it. Okay? You get the ball out of your hands. Because again, the ball moves faster by the pass than it does the dribble. Okay, so you want to put defense on the back foot as quickly as possible to then take advantage of. Because it'll be easier to score if you've got them on the back foot in the first 8 seconds than it is trying to get them on the back foot in the last 8 seconds of the shot. Okay. Talk about running lanes fast. Obviously, you want players to get ahead of the ball. Okay. You want to keep one opposite the ball, as we call safety, trailer, things like that. Usually on a score or a live ball, it's the inbounder. But you want to get ahead of the ball, provide options, because otherwise it's just dribbling up the floor. Okay. And we talk about we have a term called lane discipline. Okay, so that just means we all on offense, if we get the rebound, we don't all run to the same spot and just get ahead of the ball. All four of us let's run to the rim and all stand there and ask for it. Okay. Let's talk about filling all thirds, middle third, outer thirds. Okay, so when we get the rebound or we get steal or the ball out of the net and we go, someone should be filling each third ahead of the ball. Okay, so there is options all over the ball. Okay, and we're not, because the last thing you need to do is just rely on the ball handler to figure it all out for themselves. Okay, you might have a whiz point guard who can do it, but you're not always going to be blessed with that. And also, when we talk in junior sport, and maybe not even state level, what do we want kids to get a lot of in the game? Touches, yeah. Like if you've just got one kid who's dribbling the whole time, and more than likely he's shooting a lot of the shots as well, you want to reward the other kids who are actually doing the right things as well, who are sprinting lanes, running hard. So the more you can get that ball moving at a junior level, I think the more fun it is for everyone involved. And it's not that I stand in the corner, I let the two best kids play, and then I run back and play the defense and get them the ball. Okay? And we talk about in transition, like the number one goal, I guess, of offensive transition when you think of scoring, is layups. We talk about getting heat on the rim. Okay, so in the first 8 seconds, if you can get a layup or get the ball right near the rim, doesn't mean you have to shoot it. That's fantastic. That's perfect. Okay, because even if you don't even shoot it and you pass it back out, the defense is scrambling. They are scrambling. They're not set up. They're not waiting for you. They're not all rotating perfectly. It's a scramble, and I guarantee you will get the shot that you want, whether it's a layup, whether it's an open jump shot, if you can get the ball on the rim or near the rim in the first 8 seconds. Okay? And again, you got to punish bad defense at times, and sometimes you out-execute it, but again, it's not 4 people and the ball handler all just running the middle third and dribbling the middle third, but it's also, floor spacing, kick ahead, and attacking from the outer thirds as well. Okay? And again, the whole goal of, we say this pace component, is putting the defense on the back. Okay? And making them adjust to us. Okay, so when we talk kick aheads, let's see if I can get this right this time. Okay, so we talk about ball comes in, 1, 2, 3. Probably over dribbled it a little bit, but we throw it ahead. Okay, and we get a layup. Okay. There's 1 dribble, no dribbles. So we almost get an alley-oop from 1 dribble of the ball. Okay, another ball right there. Okay, no dribble yet. Ball's on the wing in about 3 seconds. Okay, so that's what we talk about when we say kick aheads. Okay, 1 dribble, throw. See, we get again. It doesn't go in, but that's a shot we want to take. And does it look all that hard? No. What do you see the blue team? What aren't they doing well? Yeah, in transition. What's allowing us to just kick the ball ahead?
Coming off the ball, they're just jogging.
I know, it's like ball pressure. Ball pressure, yeah. Like, watch, who's on the ball? Well, someone does come to it. I'll give Victoria credit there. But look, no one really comes to it. Kick ahead. You know, he's a really good shooter, so we'll let him shoot that. But again, no real pressure on the ball allows us to do that. Okay. So that's what we talk about in kick aheads. Is like it leads to good things. Something like, you know, there's a fair chance it will lead to something good. Okay? And when we talk about poise component, okay, all that essentially means is running your play or running the offense or just having your kids play offense. Okay? That's all it means. Because there's a middle 8 seconds, you don't really, you know, there's no real, hey, we're doing this from, you know, 16 on the shot clock to 8 on the shot clock. There's nothing like that. So, but again, it's that transition between, hey, we've got the ball down the court, what's next? Okay? So, you know, shot clock, no shot clock, doesn't matter. You want to exhaust all your options. Okay? What do we see a lot of? And even if we look out here, what will we see a lot of? Ball comes down. Yeah, contested shots. One pass, what? Yeah, one pass, I'm shooting it. I'll drive in, I'll throw it up over 3 people. Okay, so you want to exhaust options because is defense fun to play? Is offense fun to play? Yeah. Okay, do you want to, does your team, you know, want to spend, you know, 20, 30 seconds to get in a non-shot clock era? Like, do they want to spend 20, 30 seconds playing defense? No. Make the other team do that. Okay? So a guideline principle that I haven't mentioned here is like if you talk about shot selection with your team, it's like, hey, these are the shots we work for as a group. Like as a team, doesn't matter who you are, you know, especially at the junior level, doesn't matter who you are, you know, what your skill set is and things like that. Hopefully they're a bit aware and they just don't think they're 3-point shooters and then they're made. But, you know, shot selection ties in with this stuff as a group because you say, hey, we want layups, you know, we want open jump shots and stuff like that. You know, when we talk about exhausting options, it just means, well, can we get those from what? From just playing offense, whether it's running a play or just letting the kids play. Okay, but it also holds accountability, so the kid who just throws up a lot of bad shots because he's confident and he's a bit of an alpha male, or he has that personality of he wants to take over, you can hold players accountable to certain shots, you know, or you just took it over 3 people, you had 2 teammates over. Okay, was that a shot we want to take as a group? And you know, you're not singly calling a kid out there. You just say, hey, is that a shot we want as a group? Okay, so you know, so when you talk about exhausting options, it's just about getting that.
Good question for you. How do you stop how do you do that when your parents pay their player for a shot take something? So you've got a 12-year-old who runs down the court, shoots the ball. Mum gives the dog every time he gets one.
Yeah, I would say just have a quick
retrain your parents.
I asked the parents to pay the kids for an assist.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just like, obviously that's a straight to the parent thing. And it's not a, we don't overstep the boundary and just say, hey, you're doing this wrong, blah, blah, blah. You just say, hey, can we change the focus of where the money goes? Hey, can we get the assists, can we ask for rebounds or whatever? Like, just change it. If they're willing to dole out money like that, you know, just change, make it doing something that the kid does a lot of. So they're shilling out a lot of money, so they'll stop it. Like, every pass you get a dole out. But yeah, that's probably a parent thing. Because a kid, again, when you do that, you just put the kid in the middle between you and the parent, and the kid will just never know who plays and will be stuck in the middle. So that's always a situation to talk to and discuss with a parent. Probably never the player. You know, if it's specifically based around, hey, I know you're not paying.
He gets a ball as well.
Yeah. You know, so again, that's probably a parent thing. But again, from the start, if you have parameters around your team, like what shots you work for on offense and you want to take on offense, then that kind of eliminates some of it as well. Okay. We want to use both sides of the floor on offense. Okay. What does defense not like doing? Moving, yeah, like it's so easy if the ball stays on this side and my play's there, like I get to stay in the key and clog it up. Okay, so moving ball side to side, and again, it's probably an under-taught thing, you know, because we usually go down the right side because we're the right-handed point guard. Ball comes down the right side, then we drive right, and then when we can't throw it across the court, we throw it back. They drive right again. So, you know, getting kids to use both, like, you know, reversing the ball, you know, will do wonders for your offense. Okay, and there's a stat, like, I know it's an NBA stat, but it's just like each, like they talk about playing sides of the floor. So if the ball comes down on one side, you reverse it, goes to the second side, then it gets reversed again. Each time, like if there's 1, 2, 3, 4 sides the ball hits, the higher the shot percentage. So it goes from like 30 all the way up to like near 50, just because you move the ball. Okay, because defense again doesn't want to move, and mistakes happen when you force junior athletes to communicate and play out of a scramble situation where they're not just like, oh, that's my player right there. Oh, because I have to help on something over here, things like that. Yes?
So, could you give some guidelines for that? Preparatory performance to sort of ball reversal and sometimes give them situational times when to do it, but just some extra guidance for you as to how to really encourage that.
Yeah. Well, you can take the iron fist approach and just say, hey, we're only looking to shoot off a ball reversal. Like, we're not shooting until we reverse the ball. That's when we look to score. Okay. Other than if we can get a layup in transition where we don't have to do anything, but when it slows down, you can just put blanket rules and say, hey, we're only looking to score after we reverse it. No score before reversal. Okay, that's probably the simplest one I can think of right there. You know, and again, if you go younger and things like that, it's okay. X amount of passes before we look, that sort of stuff. You can simplify it as much as you need to. But again, I think if you just, sometimes the easiest thing to do is put parameters around things. So like, again, you might be like, you know, you don't say it's a rule, you say, hey, we're scoring off ball reversal now. We look to score off that. Okay. Again, it's not, you know, you just sort of remove options for them and you just narrow down what they have to do, and that usually tends to work well. Okay. That's probably the quickest thing I can think of right there.
I always say with the younger kids, they'll always be the right-hand dominant side. They'll always play right-hand side. Yeah. You might even get your point guard. You'll always the ball first, ball to your left.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one, Gary. Like that's, you know, if you've got the kids, they can bring the ball up on the other side of the floor instead of, you know, dribbling up the right-hand side, because usually what you find is they'll try and throw the ball the other way, the person will catch it at the top and throw it right back to the right side.
And that's the other one I put in, you're not allowed to throw the ball back.
Yeah. So again, we're just removing certain options for the kids and, you know, narrowing it down to their choices. Again, sometimes the game's a little bit easier for them when you do simplify it. So it's not like a negative thing that, hey, I'm going to yell and scream at you and sub you out if you do it, but you keep reinforcing. Okay. We talk about only taking great shots that evolve from our structures, so whatever they are, shot selection, we mentioned that. Okay, so there's a terminology good to great. Okay, so there's a good shot and then there's great shots. You know, great shots are usually the wide open runs and the layups and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, if you can get your kids to understand, you know, not understand, but somewhat, you know, grasp concepts of, well, what's a good shot, what's a great shot, and that comes from your shot selection as well. So you might tell the group, hey, we're working for this, this, and this. And, you know, these are the shots we want to take as a group because, you know, we feel that'll help the group win, or, you know, they're the highest percentage shots, whatever your philosophy may be. But, you know, it helps structure things for kids. Because, again, a lot of the kids, what do they look for at times? Like, you let them play for a while, like, you just roll it out and play. Sometimes, what do? They turn around and go, oh, like, can you referee, can you do this? They look for structure at times. They don't always look for, hey, just let us go and do what the hell we want. Sometimes they look for guidance, they look for structure. You know, it's like the easiest thing to do is let them play 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and they'll quickly get into an argument over what's a foul, what's not. Okay? So, and then they'll usually ask you to adjudicate, like, oh, was that foul? Like, you know, so the kids actually look for it. So I know sometimes it has a negative connotation, like, oh, we only do this and this and this, and it's restrictive. but it's also simplifying their options and, you know, less thinking on the floor. It's like, okay, when the ball's coming this way, like Gary said, you can't throw it back. Well, I know I've got to go this way with it. And I'll, you know, even if it doesn't work, I'll try go this way with it. Okay. We also talk about making the defense actively defend. Okay, the ball stays on one side, you're probably only engaging about 2 defenders. The guy with the ball and the person one pass away from the ball. Everyone else is probably on cruise control, standing upright, just watching and waiting to see what happens. Okay. Make correct decision in the context of time and score. This is more like shot clock, but also late game based. Like if you're down 6 points with a minute to go, is it a good time to run offense for 20, 30 seconds? No. You know, if you're up, you know, with a small lead late in the game with 30 seconds to go, is it good to just throw the ball ahead and drive into the key and contested area and then throw up a shot? No. So just that sort of stuff as well. Again, and that sort of stuff can be done in trainings and things like that when you scrimmage. If you can use time and score, if you have access to the scoreboard, I'd suggest use it. Put 2 minutes on the clock, let them play, and see how it all works out. Because more often than not, it will tend to be close. If you divide the groups evenly, you know, they'll tend to be close games. Okay.
David, just with that one on shot selection, do you know with your teams, the state teams at the moment, what percentage is at the rim, outside and mid-range, roughly?
Well, I can go off the team I coached last year. We were 41 from the field, so in general, 41% from the field, 35 from three-point, and 67 from free throw.
Not the percentage, but like attempted shots. So in other words, the decision, like...
So where do most of them come from?
Yeah,
like on the floor, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay, so most of the shots, I'd say, I don't have the exact data on nationals, but in general, most of the shots are taken in the key. The second most are at the free throw line. So inside the key is, I think, about 40% of all shots in a game of basketball taken inside the key. The rest, I think it's nearly 20% of points allocated in that come from the free throw line, and then 3-point line, mid-range. So I couldn't give you exact numbers, but in sequential order, it's cane, free throw line, 3, mid-range, in that order. Yeah. Okay, hopefully this doesn't mess up. Okay, well, it doesn't really say, you're not missing out on anything. It just says penetration. At the top, and you're not. So trust me, what I'm seeing on here, it's all there, except you've got some blue fuzzy line. Okay. So penetration also is the last 8 seconds of the shot clock, if you play with shot clock. But it's also that point in time, you know, if you don't play with the shot clock, the ball gets moved around a lot. One of the kids get, they get a bit antsy and say, I've got to do something. Okay, so that's this phase of offense we're talking about. Okay, the best thing you can do, shot clock or unshot clock, is space the floor. Okay, so have players high and wide, nice and deep, wherever, don't have them standing together. Okay, because when we talk penetration, what does everyone automatically think? Yeah, drive. But what else can we do? Yeah, so throw it inside, pass penetration. Okay, we have cutters, we can hit them. Okay, they catch it in the key, that's as good as driving it inside the key. Okay, so it's not just talking about dribbling, but spacing the floor is probably the best thing you can do for junior athletes on offense. Okay, you give players more room to play in. Okay, the hardest thing on defense to do is cover someone in space. Okay, like if you play one-on-one, okay, or like even just if you inbound the ball and you haven't played one-on-one and it's just them on the court, I guarantee the offense will get the ball 90% of the time. Because there's too much space for the defense to go. Okay, so same goes in the offense, you know, 5-on-5. The more space you give your players to play, the harder it is to defend. Okay? Because players who play too close, you can cut back to the basket. Players who sag all the way off, they can get easy catches and get plenty of touches on offense. So, you know, sometimes it's a pick your poison thing on defense when your opposition plays in a lot of space. Okay? Get heat on the rim, so again, can be by the pass, can be by the dribble. Okay? Again, if you space them out, hopefully there's room for you to attack. Okay? react to the drill or pass play. So receiver principles, again, like I won't go into too much detail, but what we talk, that terminology just means when the ball moves, what do we move? How do we move? If I pass the ball inside to the big ball player, do we just stand there and watch, or do we move? If my point guard drives the ball and gets into the key, do we all stand there and watch, or do we move? Okay, so receiver principles is just a basic concept of you move as the ball moves. Okay, similar to shell defense, where you pass, you're one pass away, then you're two passes away, and then you're on the ball, and you move as the ball moves, so you get further away from your opponent, further the ball moves, and as it gets closer, you move back. Okay, that's what we talk about there. So what I'll show you, I'll just show you a clip in a minute that sort of explains a little bit of it. But so that's essentially what it is. It's just, ball moves, we don't, unless I'm wide open without moving, we're kind of moving to spots that, we can be seen and pass the ball. Okay, no matter if it's pass or dribble. Okay? We want to take the highest percentage shot we can. Okay? Just because the shot clock might be winding down on the game clock, we don't just drive in and throw it up over. Our shot selection still remains. Okay? Our shot selection still remains no matter the time on the clock. Okay? And most importantly, this is where a lot of junior athletes really fail, is on the release of the shot. Defense, that's usually the start of defense, on the release of the shot. Okay? It doesn't mean you don't go for an offensive rebound, but you can't have 5 people running to the rim trying to get a rebound. Okay? Because more often than not, what do you see a lot in junior basketball? I'll tell you right now, I can probably look out and I can guarantee someone's on a fast break somewhere off a rebound. They get the ball, they dribble that way, they go, and everyone else just chases. Okay, because everyone watches the ball, sees what happens, sometimes they go after it, and then you got 5 of us in the key, and they've got the ball going that way. Okay, so on the release of the shot, I just have a blanket rule. If any player is above the free throw line on the release of the shot, they get near half court. Okay, one might get to the 3-point line, one might get to half court, and that's essentially it. Okay. But yeah, it can be whatever you want, but again, if you get your players proactive on the shot, on the release of a shot, they'll be a lot more effective. Okay, especially, and defense will become a lot easier. Okay, the better you are in defensive transition, the better half-court defense you have. Okay, that's just a simple rule. You'll be better in half-court defense, being better defensive transition. Okay? And a lot of that just comes from being proactive and not just waiting to figure out what happens before we decide what's next. Okay? So I'll show you a little of this receiver principle stuff. It might just be one action, but what you'll see is on a drive, players moving. So just look off the ball. Drive happens, players are moving. Some might be standing because they're open, but on a drive, players are, okay? So again, it doesn't look anything really fancy or anything like that. Here's a repeat just for you. But it just means we keep spacing and we're moving. Okay, don't worry about that. But we're moving as the ball moves to an advantageous spot. We might already be in one, and you can see a lot of that sort of stuff where Andrew Cooper, that sort of Cooper's on yeah, I think he's up in a couple of. That's his team, and he does a good job of putting them in spaces where you drive, you can get the pass if anyone helps. Okay, so okay, so that's basically the style play. Also, before you leave, I've got a style play document here. It teaches a lot of the stuff we teach at high performance level. It's just a bunch of drills. It's 40-something pages of drills and things like that. So grab one if you want. If you don't want, no problem. But it's there, if you want. Okay, so now I'll talk about, again, style of play. That's neither here nor there. But I want to talk about like a BWA style coach. Okay, so if I was drawing up a perfect coach in terms of what they possess, skills and things like that. Number one, athlete focused. We heard Lotto talk about the way coaches are moving, it's about the athlete. Okay, the days of my way or the highway, long gone. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, we want athletes, because the space we deal with at BWA is junior athletes, much like you said. Okay, we're about fostering and developing holistically people. Basketball's just a part of it. Okay, so we've got to be athlete focused. Okay, coach has got to have a want to learn. If you don't know it all, I know about this much of basketball. Okay, I'll tell you that. But you've got to want to learn. Okay, and just like with anything, like anything you do, whether it's your profession, whether it's a hobby, you increase your capacity and your knowledge, by learning and doing different stuff. Okay? Up to date with current trends of the game. Okay? Not all, you don't have to be, okay? But ideally you would be, because the teams we play against, we kind of has a certain feel. Nationals have a certain style of play as well, like state tournaments and things like that. So again, sometimes it's nice to know what you're going up against and what sort of to expect. We want compassionate coaches. Again, not sympathetic, but compassionate. Okay, empathetic, not sympathetic, but empathetic. Okay, understand. Okay, remember what it was like being 14, 13, 15 years old. Okay, so a lot of the times we talk to athletes like they're 27, and they clearly understand everything we say, and we use vague terms, and they interpret it a different way. Okay, so but we've got to be empathetic to what the kids are going through. Being a teenager is rough at the best of times, so adding pressure of sport and performance and all that sort of stuff does add to it as well. Okay, we've got a team player. BWA, we don't exist without you guys. We understand that. We acknowledge that, and I have Basketball Australia stuff to follow and things like that. So it's not just the BWA program isn't just me sitting there going, hey, I think we need to do this, we need to do this. That's wrong, I'm right. Okay, it's a collaborative approach. So if we have coaches with that possess that sort of thinking as well, that hey, I'm here to help a group of kids or a part of a program that's bigger than myself, then that's definitely encouraged. Good communication skills all coaches should possess or try and improve their communication skills. Because again, it's not what you know, it's what you can impart on others. Okay, so if you can't communicate what they need to, the information they need to receive, then they're not learning at the rate they need to. Okay? Receptive to feedback, again, don't get your back up. Okay? About feedback, it's constructive. Okay? Outside the box thinking, okay? One thing I'm big on is pushing envelopes and trying different things. Okay, if you've got ideas, I'd like to hear them. Okay, I like trying different things. Okay, so the term "oh, we've always done this" or "we used to do that" that's probably doesn't apply. And solution-orientated coaches. Okay, because what are Australians? What are we really good at? Whinging. Like I think we're good at whinging. We're this is terrible, blah blah blah. And a lot of things just get thrown out about what's not good. And then very few solutions come back, hey, well, why don't we try remedy it with this? Okay, so it's easy to sit back and just poke holes at everything, but we need solutions as well. Okay? So I'll just briefly talk about our programming. So we're in these phases. We look after under 12s hotshots, 13s and 14s FTP, Southern Cross for under 14s and 15s, state performance programs for 16s and 18s, and state teams from under 20s, 18s and 16s. So we have a lot of programs. I've already been to Melbourne. I'm headed to Canberra next week for tournaments. So, April's Townsville, July's Darwin. So there's lots of things going on. Josh ran hot shots here last Sunday. Tomorrow he's at Coburn running FTP. So we're quite busy doing a lot of stuff. Okay, so there's a lot going on. Okay, so with the hot shots, just a brief breakdown. There's skills days, and they're usually held in each region where we can organise it. I think last year there was maybe 2 regions that didn't run a skills day. And then there's a jamboree where we invite 80 kids in, and they go down to Coburn Arc and spend a weekend playing games and mixing up against all kids from all over the state. Okay, so there's not much to it, and like as you can just sort of self-explanatory as you read the slide. Okay, ideal coaching traits is someone who's patient because you're dealing with 9, 10-year-olds. Okay, clear communication, fundamentally sound. Again, you don't have to tick all these boxes, but again, if we're talking ideal coach or like skill set, like coaches who need work on these areas, that's what. But again, what you need if you want to do anything with BWA, working with children's card, and you need a current coach accreditation. Okay. So they're the things for us that we need, because Basketball Australia, it's a requirement for anything we do. We have to have these on file for everyone that helps out, for our own liability. Okay, under 13s and 14s FDPs, they have 2 skills days. We can select academy groups out of it. They probably have in total about 6 academy sessions with us. Okay, again, dealing with juniors, patience, clear communication. Okay, so FDP, we start talking about skills and concepts. That, again, everything we try to do at BWA for the athletes is pushing them to the next level. So under 12s, we probably start introducing some things at 14s that they should do. At this, we start talking about things that Southern Cross they should do. So it's all about pushing the next level. Because at the end of the day, high performance, we want to push as many kids to the centre of excellence, national teams, all that sort of stuff. That's what we want. Okay, that's our goal. Okay, that's what we want to do. So a lot of our teaching, you don't get that by coaching them to the level that they're already at. So just get good at the things they're already at. And a lot of the feedback we used to get from WA athletes that go over to Australian development camps and things over in Canberra in the Centre of Excellence, that they'll come back with, oh, they didn't understand this, they haven't done this, they don't understand that. And that was just the next level concepts, because at Wobble they might not be needed to win a game. So we're trying to always push the envelope a little bit of the learning and the concepts that they'll need at the next level. And I think junior sports probably isn't a lot different. Again, for clubs that have SBL teams, like a lot of your boards and things like that, they want those junior players ending up in SBL. Okay? And what usually happens, we don't teach the kids the proper skills and the concepts that they need for SBL. So the SBL clubs go and recruit players who are good enough, but they don't have to spend time developing. And the kids end up training and just hanging around for a little bit and they drop off. Okay? So you always want to push for the next level of what they're going to be facing and setting them up for future success. Okay? Sometimes it takes a hit on, hey, we want to win the championship this year, but sometimes, that might happen through osmosis, not because, you've just done this, and you've kept them at a certain level. We're going to press. We've got the biggest group and the most athletic. We're just going to press. Not going to teach any defensive technique. We're just going to press. We're not going to run any offense. We're just going to get layups and off steals. Okay, that's good, but does that happen at SBL? No. So again, that's coaching for the moment and not coaching for longevity. Okay, the same thing. You need, community coach accreditation to be a part of it. I'll quickly move on. Our Southern Cross Challenge. Okay, we go to Melbourne and play Big Metro, Big Country, SA Metro, SA Country, New South Wales Metro Country, ACT, in just development tournaments. Yeah, the score's kind of irrelevant. You play to win, but again, we're not sort of playing for a championship or a trophy or anything like that. So there'll be a trial, a couple of training camps, and then they'll go away for a tournament. Okay. So Southern Cross coaches, you're probably going to need to be an old level 1, so a club coach. You need a valid driver's license because you may be in charge of driving a van with 10 kids around. So be aware, and working with children, of course. Okay, our SPP is we pick squads of up to low 20s of metro, country, boys, girls, 16s, 18s. So in total, we have about 140 athletes in the SPP program. We've got kids from Broome all the way down to Albany in the program. Okay, so they usually come in for a trial. They have 3 training camps, and after the 3rd training camp, we pick state teams out of that group. Okay, so that's how our state teams all stuff works. Okay, and to be involved in SPP, again, the coaching traits fast learning because we're at camps, we're going, we're doing stuff. It's not a time to sort of slow down and figure things out and and slowly dissect what's going on. It's a fast-paced environment. And you got to understand, like, you got to work within a program, because the coach might hand you a program and say, hey, this is what we're doing today. Okay, so and again, you can come take notes, you can come watch, you can come get on the floor. So there's lots of things you can do. But again, you probably need around a club coach accreditation to be involved. And last but not least, our state teams. Okay, so the process is getting the SPP process, trial, 3 camps, and then we prepare it. After we select the team, we prepare it. Yeah, and then we go to the tournament. Yeah. So state team coach and trains are a lot more. Okay, these are highly contested spots, so there's a lot of things you got to be. And you've probably got to be a level 2 coach, and for that driver's license level 2. Okay, but I put all that up just to give you a brief summation of what it actually is we do, and what we look for, and things like that. But at the end of the day, as long as you have coach accreditation, a coach accreditation, and a working with children's card, you are welcome to anything BWA. We have an open door policy where you are welcome. Again, I can't guarantee that you're going to be on the court working with everyone, okay? Because there's programs in place and there's stuff in place that you may fit in where it needs best. We might have too many coaches, we may not have enough. You don't know. But there's an open door policy. Okay, you just reach out to me. Josh, put your hand up. Josh is our development. He's speaking next, so you'll get to meet him. And Luke, our coach guy, who's been talking a lot, introducing everyone. You know, our emails are all on the website. You can reach out to any one of us at any time about anything, and we'll happily accommodate, assist. Again, because we don't get to do what we do without you guys. Okay, you guys are on the front lines, working with the athletes. We're the anomaly. We don't see the kids very much. As you can sort of see by how many dates we have, like we get not a lot of touch points with our athletes. Okay, SPP maybe more so because it's a bit more of an intensive program, but everything else it's kind of ad hoc. So, you know, but we value what you guys do, and that's why we're making a concerted effort to provide more resources, more clinics, more things like this for you guys. Because, you know, you guys, again, before we all started working in basketball, Lio, how many years did you volunteer in basketball for?
About 16.
Yeah. So, you know, I put with 6, 7 in myself, and I was lucky enough to get a job. So, you know, like we understand. You know, I think all of us who do work in basketball have come from that volunteer base, and we do understand that the time, the effort that goes in. So, and we do appreciate it. And it's not. And you may think, oh, I just coach this little team down here, and it doesn't mean anything to the bigger picture, but it absolutely does. Basketball for me started playing in a domestic team with my friend, and I was about 15 or 14, 16, something like that. And his dad was the coach. His dad knew this much about basketball. He was a footy guy. He knew nothing. But I loved practice. You know, we may have 1 or 2 drills that we did, I can't really remember, but I loved going there. I looked forward to it. And that pushed me on to play state, go to college, play in America, coach in America, do all this stuff. Just because my mate's dad was a domestic coach when I was 14 or 15. So you never know the impact you're having on kids and where they're going to end up. So I know sometimes you're plugging away going, oh, geez, this kid's a nightmare, the parent group's a nightmare. What am I doing this for? I'm putting way too many hours and effort, I get no thanks. But down the line, like I said, I hope that you are what my mate's dad was to me from basketball to somebody. Again, so that's, again, so for us at BWA, we're super grateful and thankful for everything you do. And there is an open door policy. Okay, I can't guarantee that you'll get what you exactly are looking for out of it in the sense of, I want to get on the floor, get my hands dirty with all the kids and teach this and that. But you are welcome, and that is withstanding. Okay, so I'll just leave you with this. You know, I look at coaching as similar to this vein. Okay? You know, it's helping kids learn nowadays. We talked about, like Lio talked about, you know, and if you learn, if you help corral kids into learning and they figure it out themselves, a lot more powerful than you just saying, hey, that's wrong, do this, that's right. Okay, so thank you guys for your time. I'll hand you over to Trigger. I'll take any questions. I'm running a bit over time, so I do apologise, Josh. 5 minutes. I'm doing Josh a favour. I think he's a bit nervous. I'm sure he's tired, but I'll take a couple of questions and then I'll get out of here.
Just a quick one. How long does the SPP program go for?
So we usually try, again, age groups are different, like 16s, 18s, but usually like in totality it goes from about end of October trials for 18s to April, and then the 16s it goes from like December to July. But again, it's just fortnightly touch points, and state teams go on a different path, but again, it's not like
The months after that, where do those kids usually go to?
Wobble, like a lot of country kids play footy, netball, that sort of stuff.
Yes.
No worries, thank you guys very much.